My name is Fletcher. I intern with the Southern Education Foundation on behalf of the Arkansas Public Policy Panel. I wanted to do any and everything I needed to do to get where I wanted to be. And even, if I was called an overachiever or whatever, I was like, okay, well, when I'm in college and, you're doing whatever, I'm gonna be happy. I'm from a very small town in Arkansas called Plummerville, 1M. And there's about 800 people. The high school was consolidated with another town in the 80s, so I was bused to school. And my experience was very different than a lot of people. I didn't get to walk to school. We had a 30-minute bus ride. And so when I was researching with the Arkansas Public Policy Panel, these smaller towns, even smaller than my hometown, and calling people who live there, community leaders, spiritual leaders, parents, and just talking to them about the issues that they're having or that they were having at that time, I was like, wow, this is the same thing we were going through. And we never thought to do anything about it, to fight back or go to our political leaders to see if we could have something changed. So it was just talking to those people and saying, this is a problem that we're consolidating all of these schools and kids are having to ride a bus for an hour to get from Marville, Arkansas to Elaine, Arkansas, or wherever it may be. That's an issue because if we look into the future, do we really want this to continue happening for 50, 100 years? What is it going to be like in 100 years in rural Arkansas? But those were the things that allowed me to say, if I don't teach, wherever it is, if I don't help make schools better, what are schools going to be like for my grandchildren or great-grandchildren? What are we going to be talking about in the future if we don't do something now? And so I went in not knowing what I really wanted to do, but when I left, I was like, I have to teach. I teach 7th through 12th grade in D.C., specifically 11th to 12th grade, U.S. history and U.S. government. Social studies is my specialty, so if they need me to teach other subjects in that area, I can. But that's what I do. I also coach cheerleading, and I advise the student government. And so, that's what I do. I teach high school, and I love it. I recently received an offer to intern in the First Lady's office, and so it's been tough, the background check and everything like that has been very intense. But DC Public Schools is allowing me to take the internship and return to teaching. So I'll be able to intern in the fall, do a few things at the school. I'll still be able to coach while I'm interning, and then I'll return back to Anacostia in January to teach. It'll be fun. I'm going to be working in the First Lady's correspondence office, so we handle all of her mail and her letters and scheduling, a little bit of scheduling. So I think it'll be fun. I personally believe that education reform is important because I think we all know, especially those of us who are affiliated with the Southern Education Foundation, we know that education is unequal in this country. And as a government teacher, teaching in a lower income school and telling your kids, this is what the Constitution says, this is what our founders said, and this is why they created America, and everyone has these rights and they're all equal. And when you see the schools and the conditions of our schools, we know that they're not equal, especially when you're looking at rural versus suburban or some urban versus rural. We know it's not equal. And the fact that we're supposed to teach students that it is fair and that it is equal and they do have the right to this equal education, that they don't even know what it really looks like. I think it's so important to make sure we do everything we can to balance it at some point. Because it's almost like, are we really following what our country's primary document says we're following? So I think that it's a right, to have an equal opportunity for a fair education, and that's not happening. The issues that our students and their families face outside of the school are tremendous. And then it all comes in the school, and you have to serve as a teacher and as a big sister, a mentor, a coach. You're everything to the kids. You're everything to them, especially when they really feel like you care. And then you have to separate, you have to play the teacher role well and the mentor role well and the coach role well, and then make sure that they don't hate you at the end of the day when you try to teach them all of these lessons. It's funny, I was reading the SEF book that was, or the pamphlet that was published in 2007. I don't remember if it was Lynn or the CEO that said it, but education is more than just the knowledge. Like if they don't have the morals and the character, it's no good. You can pack all of that intellect and put it in the backpack, but you're no good if you don't know how to use it. And I think that's the issue with a lot of our schools. The kids, some of the kids are getting the knowledge and they don't know how to use it. And it's causing so many problems outside of the school, and you know, there's so many issues that we're facing as teachers and as, you know, education policy advisors and all of that. But I mean, overall, it's been a lot of fun. It's very hard. I love it. I think the internship program is important because a lot of students who, like myself, who come into this program, we may not know if education is something we're interested in. I was looking at the statistics. Some of the students who come in are science majors or business majors. But I feel that everyone who comes through this program, a part of them wants to do something about education. Whether or not you enter the field, you can do something to help a school or to help reform policy or to, you know, use your resources to help education in some way. And without this program, I feel like so many people who have done great things wouldn't have had that opportunity. And I always use myself as an example. If I hadn't have done this internship, I would not be a teacher. I'd be somewhere, I don't know what I would be doing, but I wouldn't be teaching. I wouldn't have gone to graduate school for education, you know, something that some people think is useless. I think is amazing. I think that all teachers need some type of advanced education knowledge on teaching because it's not something that everyone can do, and it's very hard, but I think that this internship is just amazing. Like, it prepares you for anything related to education.